So the other day, I was telling this story on LinkedIn about an executive who was telling me that he was ripping out vendors left and right because they were adding AI to their products, which I thought was a little bit extreme, but we talked a lot further. And he was explaining that a lot of these companies were actually just adding AI, not really understanding what their customer actually needs it for, when they can and can't use it, and trying to actually understand anything about data policies, data privacy, governance, or anything for their customers. And he was saying that people were just switching on AI like it's a light switch and not thinking about him. And I wanted to provide a little bit more detail in this follow up video to my post. So for him, his thought process went along the lines of we have vendors that we have agreements with. And some of those agreements specifically say we cannot run their data through AI. And they actually care about working with their vendors, and they opt to actually follow the rules that they set up with their own vendors so that they don't use AI on that vendor's data. So when companies come in and say, hey, now the only way to use our tool is through AI, and it's already implemented, they're not leaving their customer with a lot of choice. And that's actually why this executive was removing several of his software as a service vendors, because they didn't allow him to follow the agreements he already had with other vendors. So that is really the core of it. But I want to talk a little bit about what I was doing that was different. So with my client, when we were building their very first AI features, we did an entire rollout process. We actually notified a lot of the customers months in advance that this was happening, really to make sure that we could give them this heads up before it happened and that we could learn basically in the process. We split it up into two groups. We had a group of customers that we knew were super, super friendly to AI, and we had a group of customers that were much more unknown. So we rolled out with a group of customers who were much more friendly because we figured, hey, if there's anything we're going to learn in this process, we're going to learn it with the people who are a bit more forgiving of what we're doing. And this was us learning that before the features rolled out. And we came already equipped with an updated legal addendum, other key information about our models, data privacy, so that they could review that in time before things went on. And then we had a process for what happens if you don't want your users to use the AI. And so everybody else really got a lot more lead time as we were learning from our AI-friendly customers. And everybody else, basically, we already knew what was coming by the time that we were rolling out AI features to them. So this actually made the process really smooth. We had no complaints. We had maybe of thousands of customers, probably less than 10 that we had to not include AI for them. And those were the exceptions. And this is really in a scenario where taking a product that comes from a pre-AI era and launching the very first Gen AI features while caring a lot about, what enterprise customers care about, which is data privacy. Hey, is this compliant? Does this follow governance? Those sort of things. And so, a lot of these things are not just, hey, what goes in the product? It's thinking about what is your entire customer's experience as you're rolling out entirely new capabilities.